So Mike Johnson is getting sued, and it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Every time I see Mike Johnson these days in interviews, he just seems like a guy who's falling apart. He seems so rattled and so shaken, and he realizes that what he's saying to you is bullshit. He does. He realizes that he's trying to spin this the best way he can, and somebody somewhere has just told him, hey, go out there and blame it on Democrats. Find a way to blame this on Chuck Schumer. Put this on Hakeem Jeffries. Just keep saying that. Being a Republican politician is the easiest thing you could do these days because all you got to do is just look right into the camera and lie through your teeth. And no other Republican will ever hold you to an account for it. But in the words of Pete Hegseth, Mike Johnson F.A.'d and F.O.'d. And so here we are. He's now being sued on behalf of Adelita Grijalva, who would have been the 218th vote in the releasing of the Epstein files. But old Mike Johnson, he goes to bat for pedophiles. So here we are. Let's read this article. This was from MidasNews.com. It was written by Aaron Parnas. So Arizona Attorney General sues expedite swearing in of Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva. The lawsuit argues that Mike Johnson's delay leaves Arizona voters unrepresented and seeks court approval for alternate oath administration. I think I said that right. Yeah. Okay. So, Attorney General Chris Mays has filed a lawsuit seeking to compel House Speaker Mike Johnson to administer the oath of office to Adelita Grijalva, the newly elected Democratic representative from Arizona. Grijalva won on September 23, 2025, special election to fill the seat previously held by her late father, Raul Grijalva. Despite her certified victory, she remains unsworn and unable to assume her duties. The lawsuit argues that the delay has left more than 800,000 Arizona constituents without full representation in Congress. It asks the court to issue a judgment stating that if Speaker Johnson continues to withhold the oath, Grijalva may take it before any person legally authorized to administer oaths. The filing contends that the U.S. Constitution requires members of Congress to take an oath before serving, but does not specify that the Speaker must be the one to administer it. Speaker Johnson has maintained that Grijalva will be sworn in when the House reconvenes for regular business. Critics, however, accuse him of using the delay to block Grijalva from participating in pending legislative matters, including an upcoming vote on releasing certain investigative materials. Johnson has denied any political motive, calling the accusations unfounded. The legal question centers on whether Speaker Johnson has the authority to delay or refuse the swearing in of a duly elected and qualified member. Arizona's lawsuit seeks to establish that much power does not exist and an alternate process must be available to ensure continuous representation. A rule in favor of the state could set an important precedent clarifying the constitutional process of seating members for sitting members of Congress. And you can read the full lawsuit there on MidasNews.com. But folks, I really do believe that this is the type of thing that we're going to have to see more of if we're going to continue to combat this authoritarian regime. And I don't throw that word around lightly. Authoritarian, by definition, is favoring strict obedience to authority, especially at the expense of personal freedom. And that's what we're seeing more than ever with Donald Trump. He wants everyone to give up their personal freedom to worship him wholeheartedly. But I just want to ask y'all a simple question. Let's just cut through all the bullshit, and I'll just ask the most simple, elementary question that I could possibly think of. If that had have been a Republican that won in Arizona in a landslide, and let's say they were the vote to stop the files. Let's say that their vote would stop the files. Mike Johnson would have broke his neck to get that person sworn in. Or if that had just been a Republican, do you really think we would still be sitting here waiting? Now, what does it say about a guy like Mike Johnson who loves to throw around the word transparency? He loves to say it. Don't ever take a shot of liquor every time that Mike Johnson says the word transparency, because you would have alcohol poisoning in no time. So don't ever try that at home. But this dude loves to throw that word around, and yet he's one of the most untransparent people that ever was. Someone who has swept so much shit under the rug and does so blatantly. And here we go. This is their moment. This is their moment in time when they could all be the heroes in the story. They could all come out and expose that deep state, right? But they've not. They've held off so long that now would you really trust anything they said to you? They had the chance when Trump came through the door to do it right then. It didn't have to come to this. None of it had to come to this. There didn't have to be a need for Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna to call for the release of the files. It didn't have to happen. If Donald Trump would have fulfilled his campaign promises, he would have went ahead and released them. But you do got to remember that he did pump the brakes on it. He did hesitate because he said there might be some personal stuff in there. And like I said in the previous video, even if you give Donald Trump the benefit of the doubt that he is absolutely innocent and not guilty of any wrongdoing with Epstein, by doing this, he's still protecting the people that did do wrong with Jeffrey Epstein. And I saw a clip where James Comer, almost called him Gomer Pyle, but that would be an insult to the great Jim Nabors. But James Comer comes out and says, we found that Bill Clinton's more connected to Epstein than Trump was. Okay, cool. Show us the files then. We don't give a shit because guess what? I don't worship Bill Clinton there, Comer. I don't give two shits. I think he was one of the greatest presidents of my lifetime. Probably one of the greatest of all time. But you know what? If he was a scumbag and he hurt people and hurt innocent people, to hell with him. I don't care. I'm not going to have to throw away one piece of merch. If Bill Clinton's guilty of wrongdoing and Bill Clinton goes to jail, I won't have to throw away one shirt, one flag, one cardboard cutout, no pictures nowhere. I got one book that ain't even in that bookcase over here beside me. It's packed away somewhere in a tote. So whenever I go through those books and decide which one I'm going to take to the bookstore, which one I'm going to stick back on my shelf, I've been in the process of moving. I've moved into a place last year, still haven't got everything in here. So when I go through all my shit, if Bill Clinton's guilty, I'll just pick up that book and dump it in the trash. That's all I got to do. But if MAGA did that, they would have to give up their entire identity because their entire identity is through Donald Trump. They live vicariously through him. And to say that he did wrong or that he's in those files, well, it doesn't just, because it's not the same. Because we don't worship politicians and we don't live vicariously through them. I've never lived vicariously through Bill Clinton. I don't sit and do that. I don't worship him that way. He didn't empower me to live the lifestyle that I do. That's not what happened. That's what happened with Trump. That's why this one is so hard for them. But they're going to bat harder and harder. And while they do so, while they stall this, they're protecting pedophiles. There's no other way you can say it. They truly are. We're over here going, we don't care if Bill Clinton's on the list. Release it. But are you going to believe it if they literally take, a pen and paper and go like that and mark out Donald Trump's name and go, see, are you really going to believe it then? I mean, how blatant do these people have to be? But what I started to say earlier and meant to keep going with was more people are going to have to stand up and file lawsuits like this. I mean, Donald Trump sure is happy as hell to file any lawsuit he can and claim that he's been done wrong and he's been screwed over. So I think it's high time that that Democrats and people does the same thing. I saw where that the construction company that's demolishing the east wing of the White House, I saw where people were going on their website and giving them horrible one-star reviews. Good for them. Couldn't have happened to a nicer group of people. You got to stand up somewhere because Donald Trump is the bully that took your lunch money and you let him have it. And if you let a bully take your lunch money today, he's going to come back tomorrow and ask for more money. And he's going to make your life a living hell. And the only way that you ever beat that bully is to stand up to that bully and let him know that you won't be pushed around. So, Mike Johnson is the little bitch that just goes out there every time and sits there. We're going to do it. I promise we're going to do it. We're going to be very transparent with the American people, blah, blah, blah. And he sits there and does that like a little nervous rat. And I guarantee he walks off stage and probably beats his head against the wall. And then goes and watches porn and his son texts him to say, hey, Dad, I heard the phone ding. What are you doing? That's the type of idiot that he is. But he deserves this. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. I hope they sue him harder. I hope they sue him for more. I don't give a shit if I see Mike Johnson out on the side of the road, looking for a job. I'd be like, screw you, pal. Because they had no problem screwing over the American people. None whatsoever. So whatever happens after this, and I really hope that one day we see all of these people on trial for their wrongdoing. I really do. Donald Trump may have worked it out that he got immunity, but Mike Johnson doesn't have it. Kristi Noem don't have it. Bam Bondi don't have it. That's why in all these confirmation hearings, they're not even answering the questions. They're not lying. They're just insulting and distracting because they realize, uh-oh, if I lie, I don't have immunity. So, yeah, I think Johnson deserves to be sued, and I think more people just needs to stand up to this administration and say, we're not going to take it. You can't just roll over for these bullies. They're going to continue to run over you. The more you lay down, the worse it's going to get.